Okay, so in number 3, everybody's favorite comedian, the one and only team in the world where your manager can lose, you lose, you lose and lose and lose, but still they back him because he's the one and only. He's the GOAT of all managers.
We've
Manchester
lost
United.
one. If they want to win a Champions League, I don't think they can continue playing like this. Have a contradiction between what the manager wants them to do and how they themselves they are used to playing.
There are no patterns of play to create chances. Everything is either has to be created, every chance has to be created from Kudus or Pedro Porro.
6 million ways to die. Choose one.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Hurricane of Football Podcast. In today's episode, we will be discussing teams that are performing in Europe. And the way we came about the list was everyone in the group sent their top 5 teams before to underperforming this season. Some teams appeared most than others. So that's how the list was brought about, and that's how we achieved the top 5. Some teams appeared 10 times, some twice, some thrice, some once. So at the end of the episode, those ones who will list those ones under honorable mentions or dishonorable mentions, if you want to put it that way. So today I'm joined with Ferdinand and Ivan as we discuss the teams that are performing. So first off, there are 4 teams tied in fifth, which are Real Madrid, Benfica, Man City, and Juventus. So let's start with Real Madrid. For me, Real Madrid started the season very well. I think they went 12. They won their first 12 out of 13 with, where they lost only to Atletico Madrid. But over the past, I'll say month, they have not actually been performing how like they used to. It feels like they are similar in a way to Man City in the sense that if Mbappe doesn't score, nobody else seems to do anything. It feels like the team has been built around Mbappe, where they are achieving the best out of Mbappe, but to the detriment of everyone else. Like, for example, I've not actually seen Vinicius Junior best form in a long, long time. Jude Bellingham, it's in flashes. Adagule, I just feel like his own is in flashes, not something that is consistent. Um, yeah, Master Antonio is also injured. Now, Hendrick doesn't even come off the bench. It's like Hendrick is a fool. Nobody even talks about Hendrick. With a lot of rumors that he'll be leaving in January. And also Gonzalo Garcia. Remember him? He scored a lot of goals during the Club World Cup, but since then feels like he comes on usually maybe 5 minutes for when the match is done or 10 minutes. For 10 minute cameos, he has not been given the chance, I would say. And so Real Madrid feels like if they win a match, it's either be through individual brilliance rather than anything tactical. No one, it feels like if that's how they are playing at the moment, something individually has to happen, not something that maybe they'll give 3 or 4 passes together, then you see that this is a correct pattern of play. It just seems like give the ball to Mbappe, let Mbappe work magic. That's how they play. So they have been the way they started the season and the way it has been this past 3 games, especially in La Liga where they have drawn their last 3 matches. Yeah, that they have not actually been that convincing. So Ivan, I'll go to you since you are a Real Madrid fan. What have you made about your club's season so far? And you agree that
Uh,
they are performing on
I won't argue with the fact that they are not performing well this season. Compared to last season, I feel like this season's performance is better. Just that we are still not at that Real Madrid standard. I don't know if you get me. Yeah. The only good performance they were able to put in they have been able to put in this season. I'll say it's against Barcelona. And even that Barcelona is struggling. And we can even score them more than they. So it's not really something that I'm happy about, but then it's good we won that match with them. And uh, right now I don't know if it's the chemistry in the team that's not working or because the link up between Adagula and Mbappe was working very well at the beginning of the season. I don't know if because it was against like smaller teams, but then right now it's like an on and off thing. Uh, I don't know if you've noticed, like most of the um Mbappe goals were assisted by Aragula or Vinicius. So I feel like it's an on and off thing. Aragula is not consistent, and I don't blame him that much because we can't be playing Aragula, Tchouaméni, and we're playing sometimes Ceballos and the rest. So Ceballos comes in to hold the ball, like to hold the team, and make sure that the defense is a bit stable. But then that's not how we are supposed to play. Yeah, we are a team that like, we push forward a lot. Like we attack a lot, and we are holding the ball. So I don't know. It works against small teams, but big teams have not really seen results of how. And
But I want to
concerning
say
our
something though. Don't you think that part of why they are struggling is because generally Real Madrid is not a club that like is based on like building like
just football,
yeah, like you people your main thing is have a star player, then you save rather than it being like similar to like how Barcelona just is patterns of play like tiki taka, those type of things. Yours is
the
just individual brilliance that actually saves because most of
thing
the
is,
time, if you had to look at some of
uh,
the matches like
every coach in their own practice.
yeah, no, but I
That
don't think that wait, come on, so that don't you think that that's why they are struggling because the players that's not what they are used to. If I take
honestly,
for
I don't
example,
think that's why they are struggling. I don't think that's why they are struggling. I mean, if you can hold a ball and you have uh, uh, good players like Vini and Mbappe and Bellingham, like if you are holding the ball and you try to attack, I expect to see some results. And it's not how should I put it? It's not like it doesn't work. It works. Like especially football works. So you telling me that they are not used to it. No, I mean it doesn't make sense. Individual brilliance is like how do I put it? It's like what Mbappe is doing right now. Mbappe is
and
very
that's
good
what I'm saying
this
that that's what if you have to look at Real Madrid, that's what they're mostly known for. For example, if I take the run that when you people won the Champions League in 2022, that most of the things it wasn't based on like tactical play, it was individual blends from both Courtois and Benzema that won the people that like, it wasn't like Carlo Ancelotti had a specific set of like how do I say Xabi
time.
Alonso
I
is more
understand
like
that,
that's not
but the Xavi Alonso feels like he's uh, uh, he's going to play possession football. I feel like the players have to adapt. Like he has to adapt. I don't know if you understand. Because
yeah I get you,
because
but the thing is, do the players want to adapt? That's another thing. Do the players actually want to adapt? And that's another thing we
right
have.
now, right now, it's that's a different issue. If Xavi feels like uh, some key players are not playing to his satisfaction, it feels like he has more options on the bench. You understand? These players are not they are not used to getting stopped. If you don't adapt, that's when the serving comes in, and that's actually the role that we are dealing with. Because there are a lot of star players on the bench, and they are not even getting time. You understand? I feel like the players have to adapt. They have to adapt to the playing style. I'm not saying individual brilliance is not good. It's very good. We need that. Uh, in a case where individual brilliance is not working, we have to work as a team. You understand? So if like you said, it's been a while since we saw a big performance Vinicius Junior. Um,
Okay, so Ferdinand, let me ask you what you think about Real Madrid season so far, whether they are underperforming or not.
I mean, you guys have said most of it, so I'll just build up on the points that you guys mentioned earlier. I think for Real Madrid, I think they are mildly struggling this season, but the only reason that they are not completely underperforming is the quality of the players that they have. They capitalize on the few opportunities that they create for themselves. And what you guys were saying, I think, is the players in Real Madrid, they are stuck in between two different styles of play. And how Xabi Alonso wants to play with them this season pressing high and stuff like that. It's not stuff like most of those players are used to. So if it's a different style contradicting the style that they are used to playing, they like to counter attack and attack players. So you see most of the goals they've scored this season is from counters and stuff like that. So I think once they get used to how Xabi Alonso wants them to play, they'll start playing better. But I don't know whether the egos of some of these players will change, like whether Mbappe would want to start pressing or Vinicius. Vinicius has even already fallen out with Xabi Alonso, so I don't know whether anything will change there. So it will have to be a complete mentality shift for most of these players for them to achieve something like big. If they want to win a Champions League, I don't think they can continue playing like this, have a contradiction between what the manager wants them to do and how they themselves they are used to playing. So I think that's mostly the problem. Once they settle that, or once they get players that want to cooperate with the manager, I think that's when they'll be able to get the best out of the team.
Okay, before we go on to touch on Rodrigo, I feel like Rodrigo is his. I don't. I don't say he's bad, but his form has not been. His form has been bad for a while now since the end of last season. They even points when Carlo Ancelotti dropped him because I remember one of the classicals. I don't know that it was I think the Copa, the final one, the league one, the final one against Barcelona. He didn't even play that match. Then remember that he was not. There were issues going with the issues going on mentally and stuff. So I don't know. So there was those before even Xabi Alonso came inside. And since Xabi Alonso came inside, he has not actually really used him like that. Most of the time he's on the bench or he comes on for like 18 minutes, 20 minutes. He doesn't play his preferred position. And is very surprising because there was a time when Rodrigo was known as a big game player for the Champions League. The goal that comes to mind for me is against Man City. When they were losing that match, then I think it was left with 3 minutes or so. Once they win that match, then he scored. Then the match went to extra time. The Real Madrid won. Since then, it feels like nobody really bothers much about Rodrigo. It's either Vinicius or Mbappe. If you look at the stats, he has played 30 games. That is 1,339 minutes, zero goals. His last goals against Atletico Madrid. And nowadays, if you had asked a Real Madrid fan if they saw Rodrigo, would they be um annoyed or bothered about it? I'm sure most of them will say no because it feels like he doesn't really do much. Ivan, let me ask you this: if Rodrigo was to be sold, like maybe in general, a club came that they are bringing maybe say 80 million for Rodrigo, will you sell him or you keep him?
How much did you say?
80 million, 80 million.
I don't really mind Rodrigo leaving now. You see, Rodrigo hasn't he hasn't gotten much playtime this season, but then he has had so many chances to prove himself. He didn't do anything, especially during the Clasico this season. If you see when this guy was up, and when Vini was
Vinicius,
up, because Vinicius was subbed early, I think around six
around the
something or
70th minute, around the
70.
70th minute.
The impact that Vinicius had on the left wing is not the same energy that Rodrigo brought in. So I think he has had so many chances to prove himself. He hasn't made like any good impact on it. Right now, he's like how do I put it? I'm not saying he's a bad player, but right now there are better players.
Yeah, and the thing too is this season he has played around I think 416 minutes. And I feel like the way he's being used, it will be hard for him to find any rhythm where he can showcase himself because footballers they are like when a footballer is in his flow state, like he's playing scoring and stuff, those ones he can go on a run and you see good performance. But when he comes off 20 minutes, 10 minutes, it's actually hard for the footballer to have any real impact. And this time now. And I think the issue started from the Club World Cup when most of the time he was on the bench. And nowadays he's on the bench, it's not really a surprise anymore. It feels like, yeah, he's on the bench. Mbappe and Vinicius to handle it. So me personally, I feel like he should leave Real Madrid and go to a club where he'll be the main man. That is the only way he'll be able to showcase himself as a really good player because right now it feels like he's an afterthought. It's really, really feel like it's an afterthought, and it doesn't feel like Xabi Alonso is really that bothered much about him because even sometimes before Franco Masantuono got injured, sometimes you even start Franco ahead of him, and Franco just came from Argentina, so adapting to life in Europe. So yeah, I think honestly, I feel like he should leave Real Madrid to a club where he'll be the main man and stuff. This summer the rumors about Arsenal, Liverpool and others, but now this particular moment, I feel like even if he was to move to, it's gonna be hard for him to get a club. Like which club will willing to pay the huge transfer fee, considering he has not been producing that much. Ferdinand, what do you think?
The thing about Rodrigo is that even when Xabi Alonso came to the club earlier, like way earlier in the Club World Cup, you could see that Xabi Alonso doesn't even really trust Rodrigo. I don't know whether it's because of something he sees in training or how he wants to play. Maybe he wants a left footer to play the right wing. Maybe that's what he's thinking because he has never even really played Rodrigo on the right wing. Anytime he comes on, he's mostly a substitute for the left wing position, even though that's his best position. I think he normally plays the right wing also. So I think maybe for the style he wants to play, Xabi Alonso plays him on the left wing, and he doesn't see him as a better player than Vinicius, or Vinicius has achieved more in his time at Real Madrid. Maybe that's why he has more trust for Vinicius on the left wing. I think that's mostly the reason. But I feel like if he was to leave their clubs, who would want to buy him? Even I heard recently that Real Madrid are thinking of calling back Nico Paz from Como. If Nico
Yeah,
Paz
I heard
comes,
that too.
yeah, if Nico Paz comes, then there's no way Rodrigo is getting back into the team, because if Real Madrid are intentionally bringing more players in the positions where Rodrigo is meant to play right now, then you can see that there's no real trust for Rodrigo. Nico Paz is actually playing very well for Como, so if he comes back to Real Madrid, I think he'll even be ahead of Mastantuono. So I think for Rodrigo, he has to find a different club. He should come to Manchester United.
He could be a big fish in a small pond. United is a small pond at the moment, so he
Oh,
could benefit
me,
him.
I they talk something serious. You squad the laugh.
Yeah, United is a
Manchester
small
Uh,
pond.
United. eh,
So
but
let's
you win a Ballon d'Or at United, oh. I'm telling you, trust me.
let's brush through some of the other teams. Juventus record this season has been 6 wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses. I won't. I don't know if we are to look at. It depends on the type of the Juventus you want to look at. Is it the Juventus pre 2022 or 2021 before they went on the nine? Is it the Juventus that went on the nine seasons straight of winning 9 years straight of winning Serie A, or the current Juventus? Because in the current Juventus, I feel like how where they are is what we have come to expect from them. Does anybody really expect much from Juventus? So I don't know if they underperform. I feel like this has become their current level these days. So I don't know if they underperform. I just feel like this is their new normal now, because nowadays they don't really compete for the Scudetto. They don't really go for the Champions League. They if they win trophy, officially the Coppa d'Italia, or that they win, or maybe the Super Cup. They don't. Juventus is not the same as it used to be. So honestly, I don't know if they are underperforming. Just like this is them now. What do you think, Ferdinand?
Yeah. Juventus, like recently, they are not much of an interesting team to watch. Anytime I see them in the Champions League, they are, I don't know, they are defensive and they expect way too much from their main players. They have a good attack. If you have players like Yildiz, Conceição and Vlahovic, you'd expect more from them. They have very good attackers, and you expect them to score more goals than they actually do. Anytime I watch them, they look like they are sitting back and waiting to get the other
Yeah,
team on the counter.
they are not an exciting team to watch. They are not an exciting team to watch,
Yeah,
and it
at
feels
all.
like
But
they are. Let me say this. I feel like their attack too isn't. They have a lot of attackers, but the attackers are not. I don't know if I'd say they are not prolific, or because I feel like Jonathan David has not really done much since when the Luis Openda, he has been largely forgettable. Vlahovic too feels like he's that inconsistent. I don't know. Personally, let me ask you this. Do you think Vlahovic is actually a top striker? To me, I don't feel like he's a top striker. I feel like he had one good year at Fiorentina and scored it. to be a top striker for me, I don't really think he's a top striker. I just feel like he's fine. That's how I see him. But you can answer the question and continue to understand what you're saying.
I mean, Vlahovic is not. I feel like he should be performing more than he does at this point. But like the club where he is not giving him the best opportunity to perform at his best ability. He hasn't been scoring enough goals in my opinion. But I think if he was at a different club, if he was at Napoli, for instance, I think he'll get more goals than if he was there instead of what's his name, the Manchester United,
Let's go.
Hoyland. Hoyland.
Uh,
If he was there instead of Hoyland, I think he would have a similar season to what Osimhen had in that time they won the Scudetto. I think Vlahovic is a player with a lot of potential. He's big, he's physical, he's fast for his size too. He has all the qualities to perform at a better club. Even for his country self, you can see he has the quality, but he's not surrounded with players that will bring the best out of him. So for Vlahovic, I think he needs something. He needs to a refresh, a new place, a new like how Rashford is right now. So I think he needs something different. I think Juve, they are over reliant on Yildiz. Yildiz is their
yeah,
best
yeah,
player, and
yeah,
if he's not
yeah.
doing anything, then the club is shut. They don't have no attacking outputs apart from Yildiz. So I don't know how long they've had their manager to whether they've changed him
They
because
changed their
something needs to
manager.
change. As
Spalletti came inside last month. Yeah, last month. That's when they brought Spalletti in. He replaced Igor Tudor. They just recently replaced him. Currently, they are seventh in the league table. But the point in Syria, the points difference between them, the think top the top four is like 4 points or so. Their point
yeah, so
difference is not that it's not that wide, so they are not that bad. But honestly, considering they won the league for 9 years straight, they have been disappointing. Considering the team that won the league, they are 5 points behind Milan, who is first. But honestly, if Como is ahead of them, Juventus have just been disappointed. But I feel like that is the new Juventus anyway. They have been like that for the past few seasons. So that
yeah,
to me is
but
not
you
really my
mentioned
surprise.
you mentioned Como like they're a bad team. Como are actually a decent team. Fabregas
I'm not
coaching
saying
them.
Como
They've
a
been
bad team, but like compared to where
yeah,
Juventus used to be, Como being ahead, it's
yeah.
like Brentford being ahead of Manchester United. It just shows how bad
No,
United
no,
have
no.
become. That's how it's like.
What the Brentford are not even ahead of Manchester United.
It was an example
Yeah, but you can't. Why will you mention Manchester United? Why won't you mention like nah?
because
Why
you
won't you
let's
mention Liverpool? Why won't you
Liv-
mention Liverpool?
Liverpool deserves some respect. United are like the class clown. Ivan, what do you think about
Extremely
Juventus?
disrespectful.
Ivan, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what do you think about Juventus?
Going to Sankasa, I don't follow their matches, so I don't know what's
Ah, okay,
going
then
with
you
them.
let's just move on to the let's move on to the final. The two more things. Benfica. I'll summarize theirs quickly. For
No,
me,
listen, I was going to say that. I was going
okay,
to say that they actually performed well against us during the UCL match.
but
Juve.
You remember that one
yeah,
nil
the
draw?
match that you guys won 1-0.
Yeah, one. They actually played very well. Just that Oman converted some chances. That's why. But I don't know for their league matches.
Their league position right now, they are seventh. They have scored
Eh,
17 goals and they have conceded 12.
Uh,
They are not anything special. They are just fine. That is basically Juventus right now. They are just fine. They are this one is 6 wins, 5 draws, 2 losses. That is Juventus right now. So for Benfica, they have been hurt for Benfica. They have been horrible in the Champions League. In the league, they have not. Sporting is still leading them in the league. So Benfica to me, it just doesn't seem. They seem like a club that doesn't really know what they are doing. Sorry, Porto is first in the league. Porto has 34 points. Benfica has 28 points. Their league form is not bad. They have in their last five matches 3 wins and 2 draws. But if you had focused on the Champions League, point to the one against Ajax last week, they had not actually won any match in the Champions League. So to me, considering where we usually see Benfica for, we know what what you have come to know them for. They have been disappointed, but compared to some of the other teams, I think it's not really that disappointing to me. It's just like it's just okay. What do you think?
I mean, I can't tell you anything about Benfica. I don't even know who is suggesting Benfica stuff. Like, we watch the Portuguese league. We barely
Eh,
see the league and Bundesliga stuff.
let,
But the only thing you can say about
let me
them
tell
is
you the
the
people who placed Benfica, who included Benfica in their list. Benfica was included by Kelly, Bismarck, and let me see, let me find the last person who included Benfica. And Benedict, they included Benfica. Benfica in their list.
even
So let's move on. Let's touch on Man City. If there's not much to say on Benfica, let's touch on Man City.
Manchester City. Why are Manchester City underperforming?
People included them. They are tied in Real Madrid at three. We are surprised I saw Manchester City, but people included them.
Ah, third in
Yeah,
the Premier League.
yeah,
They are
they are
they
second.
are
They're actually second. They're actually second.
second. Isn't
Yeah.
Chelsea second?
Nah, Chelsea's third.
Hey, what happened? Oh wait, was it? They are second in the Premier League. Eh,
Man, I was
they are not.
surprised,
They
but
are
people
not.
included it.
The league phase of the Champions League hasn't ended, but I think they are ninth right now. It's not a bad position to be in considering the number of games left. I don't Nah, we can't talk about Manchester City. They are playing even their last match, they won 3-2, even though it was a close game. They still came out with the 3 points. They are getting better. There's other players
Yeah, for
like
me,
Phil Foden. Phil
underperforming.
Foden is
I
stepping
think
up.
underperforming is a stretch. The only thing I'll say is that they have not reached their optimum best yet. They have been inconsistent.
Yes.
Another thing is currently it feels like if Haaland doesn't do much, they can't really do anything right now. At this moment, it feels like the season depends on more on what Haaland does. But if Foden can regain his mojo, they'll be fine. But for me, I don't think they're underperforming. But they included three times. That's why. So I was even surprised. They're included by um Isaac included them, Sylvanos included them, and yeah, I think Kelly also included them. And so yeah, that's it.
We needed them
So
here to argue their points for the underperformance, their
yeah, they
definition
are
of
not here to argue
underperformance.
because Man City for me, I don't think that. I just feel like they have been fine. I don't think. I'm not surprised. I'm not.
Yeah,
All of them didn't have Tottenham in theirs because I feel like Tottenham would have been a sure banker to be in everybody's own, but not everybody has Tottenham
yeah.
in it. Now
I
let's
mean,
transition to Tottenham. Tottenham for me, they are not just they have been hideous. I feel like Tottenham have been hideous. Their season has their Tottenham are not an interesting team to watch. Their football is dire. There are no patterns of play to create chances. Everything is either has to be created. Every chance has to be created from Kudus or Pedro Porro. Nothing about Tottenham screams interesting. And considering the amount of money they spent in the summer, you'd have thought they'd have been better. Xavi Simons has not hit the ground running. Kudus, he has been fine. I don't think he has been exceptional in anything. He's just been fine. So honestly, to me, Tottenham, I think we can all agree that they have just been bad. And then now the fans are beginning to turn on Thomas Frank. Their match against Fulham within the first 6 minutes, they're down 2-0. It could have been much worse. Fulham could have scored four in the first half. Tottenham, they are just not really in a good moment. And considering they wanted a more pragmatic coach, someone who would make them defensively solid. They're not really defensively solid. At the same time, they're not that good in attack. So they just feel like they are just there and they just keep falling on the table. Some weeks ago, they were in the top four, which was shocking because they don't score a lot of goals. They don't really defend on. Their home record is very bad. I think they have only won one match at home. That was against Burnley. I think the opening day of the season was where they beat them 3-0. Since then, nothing about Tottenham has been encouraging. Honestly, currently they are 12 currently. They are with 18 points. Yeah, currently they are 12 with 18 points. And if you look at their last five matches, they've won one, lost two, well, lost three and drawn one. Tottenham just not that great of a team. What do you think about Tottenham?
yeah. Tottenham. What do I even have to say about them? I think they accumulated points at the beginning of the season. That's why they are no lower than they are right now. At the beginning of the season, they scored a lot of goals from set pieces. They go, I think, 4 goals in one match. Their goal difference right now is still in the positive. So that goes to show, like, at the beginning of the season, they scored the lesser teams, including Manchester City. I intentionally said lesser teams. Yeah, they scored lesser teams. They accumulated goals against them, and right now they are settled. Right now, you'd expect them to be playing better than they are right now, considering the players they signed. The players they signed so far, I think only Kudus is performing from the players they signed.
Kudus
Javi
and Kolomwani,
Simons,
but Kolomwani is more in the Champions League that is actually been performing.
but his service is not just that PSG game. Apart from that, has he got any goals or any assists in any other game? So
I think yeah,
Tottenham,
most of them have been the Champions League. In the Champions League, that he has been doing well. The Premier League, I don't think he has had any good involvement in the Premier League.
yeah, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know whether they can turn this thing around because Thomas Frank, when he was at Brentford, he was this niche manager, a manager everybody was like a scout pick manager. If you wanted to see an underrated manager, it was Thomas Frank, and people thought that coming to Tottenham, he'll get with the quality of players that he has, he would have a better chance of performing. He will do more than what Tottenham's previous manager, what's his name?
Big Ange.
Big Ange. Why did I say with your accent? You do more than Postecoglou was doing. But unfortunately for them, maybe later in the season they'll gel and things will start getting better. But right now it's
But the
very tragic.
by the way the fans are telling him, do you think you get they'll give you that much time? The way the fans have started booing and stuff, do you think you get that much time? And I would say one thing that's been disappointing is you see the way when he was in Brentford, in Bremen, we were scoring a lot of goals. One in Bremen had 20, we had 19 respectively last season. Feels like when I come to Tottenham, the team they just don't know how to score goals. So that's I feel like Tottenham one of their main problems. The fact that they can't create beatable chances to score goals from it. And so honestly, I don't know if this thing to continue through December. I feel like by January he'll be gone. If it's to continue through
Y-
December, I feel like by January he'll be gone.
Yeah. But that's the difference between coaching a mid-table team and a top six team. The expectations to perform are much higher in Tottenham. Maybe that's why he's not being able to perform better than he was at Brentford. There are different expectations and the levels are different too. But you think that the level of players that he's getting at Tottenham would be a balance, like for if he was able to do that at Brentford with better players, you'd expect more. But so far, it hasn't gone like that. So I don't know. Hopefully, they remain mid-table. Probably they get worse, but you never know with Tottenham. If they keep,
See, if they
yeah,
are to go on a two supposed to win two matches in a row, they could end up somewhere around fifth or sixth, depending on that result. At this particular moment, the table is so tight that 2 wins in a row and you're in the top four.
yeah.
Before we move on from Tottenham, I remember Aston Villa started without winning their first 5 matches. They didn't even score any goals. Their first 5 matches, they struggled to score goals, but now they are up in fourth. So at this particular moment, the good thing is the table is so tight that if you is to win 2, 3 matches, they'll shoot up. But if they don't
Yeah, but
if they don't recover quickly and other teams start to put in more distance, then they're in trouble. Wait, United is ahead of them. United is seventh.
yes,
How is
what do you
United
think?
seventh?
What do you think is happening? Oswiko, United is not relaxed,
How
but
the
with Tottenham though, once they get players back from injury like Madison and Kulusevski, those are two
Madison?
essential players.
I don't think Madison will not return anytime soon. But I think probably March or April. That's when he return because it was an ACL.
Oh,
So I
then
don't
sorry
think
for them.
he's returning anytime
Yeah,
soon. Maybe Kulisevsky can
okay, but
return by the new year.
yeah, and he will be very essential to chance creation because I think that's one of their main problems this season. Being able to create consistent chances. Having Kulusevski in the playing in the number 10 position, they would have to bench Javi Simons. But I think it would be better for Kulusevski to be playing in that position because he's much used to the pace of the Premier League. but coming back from injury too, you never know how quickly he can come back and adapt to the pace that they've already been playing with. Anyway, let's move on from Tottenham. What's the next team?
Okay, so in number three, everybody's favorite comedian, the one and only team in the world where your manager can lose, you lose and lose and lose, but still they back him because he's the one and only. He's the goat of all managers.
What we've
Manchester
lost
United.
one. We've lost 1 in 7. What are you talking about? Only
Yo,
one
yo, yo,
game.
yo, yo, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down.
What? Our form is even better than Barcelona's form right now.
So United appeared 7 times out of 11. So United appeared 7 times. I had
Yeah,
United in my
because
own. Um, Bismarck had United in his own. Stefanos, he said he doesn't want to include United because United being bad is normal. Fulio had United in his own. Kelly had United in his own. Pius had United in his own. You didn't have United. Isaac had United. Ivan too didn't have United. Yeah, and okay, Cassie also had United in their own. So basically, almost everybody had United.
okay, let me explain this point.
Okay.
The reason why I didn't have Manchester United in mind, and did I have Tottenham? Check whether I had Tottenham. Wait, I did have Tottenham, but the only reason I had,
Yeah, you had Tottenham.
the
And
only
you had
reason I had,
Newcastle.
yes.
Okay.
What?
You
Newcastle are underperforming.
okay,
Or you relax. Let me finish with Manchester United
okay.
first. The reason I had Manchester United, I didn't have Manchester United, but I had Tottenham. Is Manchester United are seventh in the Premier League right now, and Tottenham are 12th. Even though the point difference is not crazy, considering where we finished last season, we finished 15th. I think it's a important detail people
But I
have
understand what
not.
you are saying. But your team is
Yeah, but
underperforming.
hold on. Yeah,
Okay.
hold on. The expectations for United right now, regardless of how people will troll us that you've lowered your expectations, we haven't lowered it. That's what the expectation should be at this point. Because we finished 15th. You not expect a team that finished 15th to suddenly be competing for the Premier League. We are seventh. We are competing for top four. It's the least we can do right now. What more would you expect Manchester United to do? Considering the players, we bought 3 players this season. 2 of them are injured. What more do you expect Manchester
You bought
United to
four.
be
You bought
doing at
four
this point?
players.
No, okay. Plus the keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like attacking wise, we bought
Oh, okay.
3 players, and 2 of those players that we bought are injured. So what difference would you what improvements would there? How much more improvements would there be from last season if we have only one player like consistently? Is right now it's only Mbeumo, and so far he has been playing well for us. But we are seventh right now. It's not underperforming.
Eh,
I think people's perception is from the beginning of the season, ignoring how we are playing right now. The beginning of the season was terrible, but we've
yeah,
managed to.
you are not that. You are still not that good because the match against Crystal Palace, the first half, Crystal Palace dominated you guys. Crystal Palace were better than you. In the second half, you guys scored 2 set pieces. Yeah, I think Crystal Palace, because of the European encounters, they were leggy and stuff. So you guys took advantage and won.
Yeah, but
You're not
is
that
that
great.
not?
And let me say this: another reason I was here underperforming is against 10 men. Everton give 30 people the 10 men. The players fought against themselves. You guys couldn't do anything about it. So the thing is, you guys are too
Hold
inconsistent.
on.
So it means underperforming, in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
opinion.
relax. But what about us now? They had 10 men yesterday and they didn't win the
Arsenal is a
game.
different breed.
If
Look at wait. Don't compare yourself. Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea is better than Everton. So Arsenal struggling
yeah,
against
but
Chelsea.
wait,
That one is
if
not. Yeah, it's like comparing apples and oranges. Plus,
yeah,
I'll say this
if
into
relax, we said, hold on, before
okay.
we move on from this 10 men, playing against 10 men, you'd argue it's much harder to score against 10 men than it is against 11 men because Everton are already a defensive team, and if they lose one man, then everybody is defending. We are playing 5 attackers against 10 defenders, and if we lose the ball, it's a counter attack, and that's how they scored. Don't act like we didn't create chances in that game. We created chances. Jordan Pickford decided to be prime courtois in that game. We in that game you'd expect us to win. It was terrible from Manchester United, but it's not like a very shameless results that it couldn't happen. We're playing against 10 men who all decided to stay behind the ball, and that's how you expect Everton to play. So it's not people are overrating that result and saying and using it as a stake to beat United with. If any team was in that position, I don't think it would have been any different.
But okay, I would say to me underperforming, but that it's not as bad as last season. But to me, I still underperforming because all the talk about Amaroon saying, "Yeah, we got one game a week. You see me at my best and all that." Honestly, to me, yeah, still underperforming. But let me get Ivan's view on it before we move on. Ivan, do you think United are underperforming?
No,
You don't think they're
no, I
underperforming?
don't think. No,
But then you had them.
they they they've
Okay,
been
you didn't
good
have
this
them in your list.
season. Ben,
You
you know
said
what? I said they've been good this season. But it's not. They are not there yet. You understand? They are
Yeah.
coming. They are still not there yet.
Yes. The thing is, we
okay,
are not underperforming, but we are not playing at our best. We are almost
Yes.
like, yeah, we are almost in this. Don't take
people are
this
like
out of
Juventus
context.
basically. People are just fine.
Yes, yeah, we are fine, but now Juventus, they are not winning the Champions League. That one is different.
But
They are, and
you people were knocked out by Grimsby.
that was at the beginning of the season. Right now, we are still. You let the FA Cup come so that we'll see how we will perform in those cup competitions too.
Okay,
Because I
okay,
think that one too will be very relevant. If we're still in the Carabao Cup, things will be different.
okay. So now let's move on to the top two. In second, in fact, they are both tied with the same number of appearances, which for me is actually crazy because one is worse than one, but I go do one. Barcelona is the next team, and I will say this. Yeah, for me, Barcelona are underperforming. This thing, I'm not sugarcoat it. I'm not sugarcoat it. From last season to this season, they have been underperforming. But there have been a lot of reasons why they're underperforming. Injuries has been one of them because I feel like almost everybody in the starting 11 has been injured at some point. Almost everybody has been injured to varying degrees, whether it is muscle injury, facial injury, groin injury. I feel like everybody has been injured, so they have not actually had like how do I say Flake has not been able to get the opportunity to use a consistent lineup for a long period of time because he keeps changing. The defense they don't have. You don't actually. If you ask me which are fair are starting back for, I don't actually know whether it is Balde, Kunde, Eric Garcia, and Kubasi, or it is um Balde, Kubasi, Gerard Martin, Eric Garcia on the right as a right back. I don't know. It's hard to tell. They have been in the Champions League. They have been poor, very very poor. Chelsea beating us 3-0 was an insult, but it's in the past. We don't do past traumas, so we live down there. In the
Like,
league, is that
you don't deal with past traumas, but you deal with past glories.
well, if you beat some people for in a row and things like that, of course you have to flex about it. But I digress. As I was saying, in the league, they have won our last 4 games in a row. Real Madrid have dropped points, which has brought us to the top of the league as things stand at the moment. But even still, I can't say I'm impressed because even the last match against Alaves, the match at we could have scored the match early, but then we were missing chances. Danny Omo missed like two clear chances before he scored in the last minute to make it 3-1. We gave Alaves chances to also equalize. We have not been really convinced, but I don't think we have been as bad as Liverpool for Barcelona to appear the same time as Liverpool, appear the same number of times as Liverpool because right now we are first in the league. There's still a chance we can qualify for the top in the Champions League because if we beat Frankfurt, I know we played Frankfurt, Copenhagen. I've forgotten the last match we played. I've forgotten who else we play. So there's still hope, but really have to step up because if we are to look at just this season, last season, we massively been underperforming in so many different ways. The high line isn't working. Just feel like even the match at the end of the match against Alaves, there was a clip of Flake going around on social media where he looked He looked so dejected, like he was fed up with life. He looked so sad and looked like Rafinha was trying to console him. I just hope the players improve for him, be able to stay injury free, so that I can go at least get, if 10 games you have a consistent starting 11 where we could just make tiny tweaks. One player comes in. I think it will be good. But if we don't, and players keep getting injured and rhythms keep being destroyed, yeah, I think it's going to be a long season. But VMD. Then now the team which is first, Liverpool. In Liverpool season, I think Liverpool can all agree that they have underperformed massively this season. Or do you guys want to say something about Barcelona before we move on to Liverpool?
I don't think Barcelona are underperform. Similar to Barcelona are top of La Liga. It's just that they are not performing to the best of their abilities.
Yeah, so it's underperforming, but not
Okay,
drastic.
then maybe
It's not
yeah,
drastic
maybe
underperforming like maybe like they are in 15th for something, but it's still underperforming.
yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Barcelona are slightly underperforming. I think your point is fair. I don't think they should be top sharing that position with Liverpool. I'm surprised nobody even selected Newcastle, but Barcelona is in that list.
Newcastle appeared
Anyway,
twice. You and Cassie both had Newcastle inside. The only people
yes,
who had Newcastle.
Cassie knows, but I don't know what the rest. Apart from that Manchester United take, Newcastle is fair.
And if she's every time she's busy, like we should get on it. So then, as we're talking about Liverpool, listen, Ivan, you start with Liverpool.
It doesn't matter that
But it's
they
not,
are top of
we
Uh,
are, look at, you say we have been shit, but we are still ahead of you. So,
but
so
once you didn't beat me, I'm not really bothered. If you're not beating me this season, so I'm not really bothered. And
you're
you
acting like Atletico Madrid,
just
like
you
how
just
you
top
act
the
like
team.
Atletico
You
Madrid, like
just
how they beat Real Madrid, then even their season goes bad, then they feel like they have arrived.
you lost to Chelsea too, so but I think be shit. It's been justified already. For Liverpool, their crisis still continues. I don't know what's going on, but then something is still not clicking in the team. Yeah, I don't know if it's their strikers or we, but something is still not clicking in their team, and
I
it's
feel like
hitting their bad this season.
for me, I think too many things change too quickly, so it's hard for them to adapt. That's what I think.
Yeah, but even so, they still have look at the quality of the players that they've signed and the quality of players that they already have. They shouldn't be they come on, they are what they are ninth on
No,
the
they are eight.
table.
They are eight. They have the same
They are
point as
eight.
United.
Yeah, that shows how bad they are playing because United finished 15th. They are the same position. Bear in mind that Liverpool won the league last year, and this season they are the same point as United who finished 15th. Five below and we would have been in the relegation. We have been relegated. Imagine. So Liverpool this season, I've heard a lot of people say is their midfield and Salah should be benched. Anyway, Salah was benched in their last game and they won the game. So I don't know whether that should be taken into consideration. Maybe Salah should be on the bench more regularly and allow for their much younger players to get playing time. Maybe that there's something in benching Salah. Maybe that's what they need to revitalize the squad.
I mean, benching him right now is not anything bad because he'll be off in AFCON in 2 weeks. So at least they have to start building chemistry with the players that will remain. So maybe the AFCON could be a blessing in disguise for them, where where he goes, the other players get time to gel, build understanding each other. Where it's not have to be like give everything to Salah. I think once Salah goes to AFCON, we'll see the best of Florian Wirtz because he become the main creator of the team.
Yeah, but still, even if Salah goes to AFCON, I don't think the next person will be Vets. I think there are still players that the manager has more trust in, or the team will be veered towards like Isaac and Soboslai because Soboslai has been their best player this season.
Yes, so Butler has been their best, but I think he'll be played. I think what will happen will be Vet to be given more freedom. That's what I think about him. Give him more freedom to roam around, to create and stuff. That's what I think will happen.
But AFCON will mess Manchester United up crazy. We'll lose like three of our very important. We'll lose Mbeumo, we'll lose Ahmad, we'll lose um Mazarawi, and they all play on the right side. So
Don't
our right side will be
you bring somebody from the academy. You bring somebody from that. You'll be fine.
actually. Now hope.
So honestly, yeah, these are our picks. Let us. Ivan, do you want to say something else? Or
Well, not really.
okay,
Nothing. I have nothing to say.
okay. So the honorable mentions. There are some of the team that people brought in their own that didn't appear a lot of times. Bismarck. So let me start with myself. I had Napoli inside, but as underperforming, but mine was based on their European form. Benedict had AC Milan and Bilbao in it. Bismarck had PSG, Ajax, Atalanta. Sylvanos had Leicester City. Yeah, Man City. Filio had Real Madrid, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Barcelona, Manchester United, and Spurs. Kelly had Barca, Man United, Ajax, Benfica, and Liverpool. Pius had Liverpool, Tottenham, Al Nassr, United, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. Ferdinand, you had Liverpool, Tottenham, Newcastle, Brest. What was Brest doing there? Brest, Juventus. Isaac had Liverpool, United, Barcelona, City, Juventus. Ivan, yours was Liverpool, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. Then Cassie was Barcelona, Man City, United, and Newcastle. Yeah, that was the fullest. And so this brings us to another episode. Let us know the list of clubs you also believe are underperforming this season, whether you agree with the list or not. We'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and give a like and share to your friends. Yeah, the road to 200 subscribers. Maybe to have reached 200 by the time
6
this
million
one comes
ways
out.
to die.
Yeah,
Choose
so
one.
I think that's all.